My name is Sandy Wiley-Chavarria. I'm a research scientist at the University of Washington's Friday Harbor Labs.
My name is Yuki Wilmerding, and I started at the labs as a student, and what we're doing is we are restoring Zoster marina, which is eelgrass.
This is a very valuable habitat for fish and wildlife here. Plants also hold down the sediment to prevent erosion. All seagrasses do provide blue carbon. Blue carbon is the sequestration of carbon in the world's oceans. Seagrasses play a major role in that. The cover of seagrasses is small in terms of the world ocean. The contribution to blue carbon is high.
We have been gathering seeds from the plant itself from healthy eelgrass beds here. We just planted almost 10,000 seeds in the field in Westcott Bay, which is where eelgrass has been shown to exist and has been in decline and is not present in some places now in that area.
The importance of eelgrass in Westcott Bay, at Bell Point specifically, is that is a historic site of herring spawn. There used to be herring spawn there at Bell Point, but since the seagrass has disappeared, along with that, the herring spawn disappeared. After they spawn, the fry and the small fish go into the system and they are protected by the seagrass cover. They become food for Chinook salmon, who then become food for the orcas.
So worldwide, seagrasses are declining, and it's been shown for over 50 years now, and there's been, disproportionately high rate of it here in the San Juan Islands. And part of that is seagrass wasting disease, which has, been impacting all seagrass species worldwide, and that's definitely had a huge impact on the species here. It seems maybe the rise of water temperatures, the rise of seawater temperatures has contributed to that. And as well, one of the reasons why we are so interested in seeding also is because with seeds, it increases the genetic diversity. And if you have a higher genetic diversity within a population, then if a pathogen comes across, then they are a lot more resilient to that. So we're hoping to restore more resilient eelgrass meadows so that it can face the climate change and everything else that is coming, as well as there's so many people who live here now, people boating here. It's such an integral part of the ecosystem, but it's also surprisingly fragile. We just started a new method this April, actually, quite recent, and it's where we put seeds into Hessian bags, basically burlap sacks, that will over time deteriorate, leaving nothing behind, hopefully. And the seeds will, within that, have sediment as well as some detritus, kind of for nutrients. And they will be able to germinate and establish some some root structures within that. So the idea is that it kind of creates a little protective barrier for them, so to prevent seed loss and to prevent predation. It's definitely a long process, what we're starting, but even just seeing a few seedlings, to me, is success also, because it shows that the site is a good place for restoration.
Seacology support has been fundamental to the development of our projects. It's allowed us to think about things in a new way. It's allowed us to be connected internationally throughout the distribution of seagrasses, which are on all coasts except Antarctica and parts of South America. Also, I really support the mission and objectives of Seacology to support restoration projects on islands. It's not often understood that islands are critical habitats.
There are certain things that we do face that people on the mainland don't face, and a lot of that is like different resources and accessibility and things like that. And so by funding this project, it's been able to make it happen, really. And it's just a really cool thing, I think, what Seacology is doing.
When you look at the map and you see the number of projects globally and feel connected to that unit in some way is a very positive feeling. It feels more international and universal, and especially connected to indigenous groups around, and knowing that the research that we're doing here and the work with restoration is getting into their sites as well. They're reading about us and we're reading about them. So that connection is really powerful.